Hello all, welcome back to Be a Creative. I want to apologize for not doing a Tuesday edition this week like I said I would. Virginia went into a mandated stay-at-home order until June, and to be honest, that kind of sucked all of the creative wind right out of my sails. I couldn't do it. So this week's video honestly was a little labor of love. I'm going to be honest. The tag that I'm using is one of the Dina Wakley size 10 tags, and I don't even use this tag to make the other tags. I needed to have something to spray on because I'm using the stencil like a stamp with some of her gloss sprays, as you can see. Also, heads up in the interest of full disclosure, the first 7 or 8 minutes of this video is me working on a tag that I don't even use, and I couldn't figure out how to correctly edit it out without it looking like crap. So I've decided to turn lemons into lemonade and show you what happens when you get too committed to something and have a hard time letting it go. So we're going to speed this up, and I'm starting to make my focal point. This is just regular Yupo paper, and I discovered this by stalking the Tim Holtz blog, his 12 tags blog, and this was one of the techniques that he did like 8 years ago with alcohol ink and an archival ink pad. I'll put a link in the comments below so you can see the original blog post because I wind up using alcohol lift ink. I have some black and mushroom alcohol ink by Ranger, and I'm just going to smear it all over the Yupo paper. Admittedly, I did put it on a little thick here. It didn't need to be that much. Really, it didn't. I do like the mushroom look that it gives. I particularly the mushroom look that it gives. So I like the look that the mushroom gives. I'm going for an X-ray effect, and that's what I thought was really cool about this technique when he did it using the archival ink pad. I have his alcohol lift ink pad here, and what I'm doing is heavily saturating it with that alcohol lift ink. I let the stamp sit on the Yupo paper for probably about 15 seconds or so, and then apply even pressure for another 10-15 seconds. And then I'm going to peel it off. I know I've done it right. If the Yupo paper kind of sticks a little bit, I'm just stamping off on a random tag that I've been using to mop stuff up. And then I'm going to take a paper towel and tap up and down right over the stamped image. And when you do this correctly, it kind of looks like an X-ray, especially if you use that black and mushroom color combination. I've been kind of obsessed with it, honestly. I don't know. I really liked it. I'm going to cut that out, and then here you'll see another one that I did earlier with a different stamp set by Dina Wakley. Now, okay, this is where I get really committed to using these two focal points, and it takes me a little bit to just let it go. I'm going to start working on the tag that the whole reason why I did this. I have some I have some previously gel printed paper. Oh God, the alliteration in crafting is ridiculous. And I've cut them out and glued that down. I forget what colors it is, but it's probably a mixture of Dilutions and Dina Wakley, to be honest. So I've cut out the gel printed paper. That was her fractured chevron stencil, which is probably one of my favorites. And I'm just gluing it down. I love the color combination with that orange and that turquoise, and that's really what does me in. I get too attached to the background, and I just really struggled with it. The same with this tag as well. I got too committed to the focal points in the background, and then it just kind of morphed into this like 30-minute period where I was just trying to figure out what to do. As you can see, I am trying to add some stuff so they don't look quite so plain, but because I'm so committed to the backgrounds, I don't want to cover anything up. I do this for a while. For a very, very long while. This is what I settled on. I got so tired of fooling with this that I finally was just like, you know what, F it. I have to commit to something. I'm just going to randomly stick some stuff down. And what I discovered was because I stopped overthinking what I was doing and trying to make it like perfect, that was in air quotes, it actually came together really nice, especially with that little pop of red from the Tim Holtz snippets. I think that's the name of it. It's from his Ideology collection. I really like having fabric and stuff, and we all know how I struggle with my sewing machine. So if I can cheat, I am totally going to do that. Because I stopped overthinking it, I also stopped overworking the tag, and I absolutely love how this came together. I'm going to set that aside to dry and go back to this one. This is the point where I decide I'm not even going to use it. Yep, I'm going to start over with another tag that I had made, just mopping up some of her gloss sprays through that same stencil, and I'm just going to go crazy. Really, honestly, I am just going to basically craft vomit all over this tag. I have some collaged paper that I've done by spraying all of her gloss sprays through the same stencil to make some collage paper. I've just ripped it up, and I believe that is the color Cheddar, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, there's only 12, so I have like a 1 in 12 chance of being correct. It's probably Cheddar. And I've just glued that down. While I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to go back to my other tag with the distress, the little paper distressor, which, in case you were wondering, continues to work better than the sandpaper that I was originally using. Once I've got that good and distressed, I think I went over it twice, but I cut that out. I have some Versamark pigment ink, and I'm going to edge the edge of the tag with with the ink. I can do that with the pigment ink because there's not paint all the way to the edge. I left some white space. Proud of me, Dina Wakley. You're probably not even watching. And oh my god, I would die if she actually watched one of my videos. Anywho, I'm going back to the other tag, and that's another Dina Wakley stencil. I can't remember the name. And I have some magenta that I am just laying down with my finger. As you can see, I kind of messed up a little bit, but because there was gloss spray underneath and it had dried completely, I was able to just wipe it up and clean it up. Now I am smearing that onto that original tag, which started the whole thing, but I left this in because I wind up doing something with that. I'll talk about that here in a minute. Now, because I said I'm going crazy, I don't even care anymore. It's just, you know, it's every man for itself. Every paint color for itself, I should say. I don't know. I'm just playing at this point. That is a dilution stencil with some of the Dina Wakley Peacock. I believe that is the name. I don't know. Check the description box for a full list of supplies. And again, I'm using my finger right through the stencil because after a lot of trial and error, and if you've been along with me on the journey, you know that gel medium and stenciling is part of, they are my nemesis. Yep, smearing the rest of it right on there too. Don't even care. I've discovered that using my finger gives me the best results. So I've just committed to using my finger for everything. Now that that is mostly dry, again because I'm impatient and I don't like to wait for anything to dry, I have a Uniball gel pen in white, and I'm just going around the edges of the pink magenta color just to kind of, so it doesn't blend in quite so much. Because it wasn't completely dry, I did have to clean off my gel print or my gel pen on the back of that other thing. Now I'm going to add my sentiment. I cut out about 15 minutes of me fooling through all my collage paper because again I was overthinking, got frustrated, and then just was like, I'm just going to freaking commit to this, and I'm glad I did. So again, overthinking was the death of my creativity. That and also all of the pandemic stuff going on. It's been stressing me out a little bit. Anyway, so I'm going to call that tag done, and now we have to finish this last tag. And honestly, I just go crazy. Like I said, I don't even care. Like, there's no rules. I'm going to do what I want. I'm a rebel right now. Mostly I'm just frustrated and I want to finish this, to be honest. So I'm just randomly stamping down a whole bunch of different stamps using some StazOn and some of the Tim Holtz archival inks in a whole bunch of different colors. And because I stopped caring so much, this tag actually winds up being kind of awesome. It was my mom's favorite, so it has been mom approved. I am using the mixed medium mark stamp set from Tim Holtz. Here lately, I've been really trying to combine a lot of my craft projects so that I don't all just like stick to one brand. Though, confession, sometimes I feel like I'm cheating a little bit because I use Dina Wakley stuff so much. I feel like I'm having some type of art affair when I use like Tim Holtz or Dilutions or Visible Image. I don't know. It's just weird. Does anybody else feel that way when they combine their craft products? I don't know, it's probably just me. It's okay, you don't have to answer that. I just put you on the spot. So I'm still trying to use this original focal point. Haven't given up on it yet. I'm about to though. As soon as I add just a little bit of white space, because I did go a little too crazy, I think, with all of the color and everything, and I just need to tone it down a little bit. So I'm using my finger to apply some finish gesso. It's not a heavy gesso, it's pretty thin, but I have found that if I just tap it on with my finger, I can get really good coverage. I don't like the way that gesso looks when it's applied really thinly. Then it just, I don't know, it just doesn't look nice and pretty and clean. Still trying though, because as we all know, I'm a stubborn crafter. However, I finally give up on that, and I've cut out a bee image from one of her stamps on a previously random tag that I had, and that is what I've committed to as my focal point. That's what we're doing, that's what I'm using, and that's it. That's all she wrote. Now I have all of those little bee statements from one of her Dina Wakley's collage packs. I just cut those up, and then as you can see, I am just gluing those down. Though I was a little disappointed that you could still see the collage paper, and I think it's because I used such dark colors. Over a lighter color, that would have faded. Sorry, my fingers were sticky and stuff was sticking to it. So these are the finished tags, and even though I didn't use that for this tag, I actually wound up using it with the first tag, and if you hop over to my Instagram page, there's a picture of the finished product that I made. Let me know which one is your favorite. You guys stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, thanks, and I'll see you next time.